On today's Minute of the Apes, we sit by anxiously and wonder, will Richard flex his arms for us? Right, left, right, left, right, left.
Right.
Here it comes. Is he going to do... Oh, he's doing it. Oh, look at that.
I didn't know it would show up so visually well on that camera.
Oh, God, I wish people could see it.
Exercise with an ape maker, human down. It talks. Is of the divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. The only good human is a dead human. And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then oh please God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast. We break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. And Sean and I enjoy the hell out of that Richard makes both of us look like fat slobs.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Sean goes
There
for
you
a
go,
shot of his
Sean.
belly.
Look at my belly.
Well, that was fun. I don't know that I want to talk about apes now that you've done the whole pectoral...
Well, we're
What was
almost
that?
to the in-between.
Was that
We'll save it for the.
was that a pectoral dance? Is that what we can call that?
Yeah. Well, you've seen it. You've seen him do that. Well, Arnold will do it like flex,
Right.
like peck. Right?
Right.
We've seen that before. Yeah.
With the rock.
Yeah,
Let's talk about dad bods on the in between.
all right, Dad
All
bod
right.
talk. We'll do that. So let's get off on minute 74 then. Sean, tell us what's going on with minute 74.
All right, we start at minute 74 with the ongoing clash between man and ape and ends with gunfire and dead apes.
All right, let's take a listen to another very riot-focused moment from Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
What's the trouble down there? Like wild animals, they're smelling blood.
As in minute 74, we got a courtyard worth of gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, imported apes, seizures, dead apes and ape management, dead apes all over the courtyard, dead humans all over the place. We got somebody that's burned and still no Armando. Sorry.
I want to real quick talk production. I found a note on this that I found was very interesting that the riot scenes were shot over a period of 7 days and 6 nights.
Really?
That's a lot. Exactly.
That's a lot.
That took a lot of time. I didn't realize there was this much time for these shots. I mean, it looked like maybe 2 nights or 3 nights at most. Honestly,
They had hundreds of extras and listed as 26 stuntmen to help the sequences, as well as a very deep crew to do the elaborate lighting sequence, which I don't know that I would call that elaborate.
I
They're
don't
more like bullseye.
elaborate at all. It's a flame bar and one light.
The
are
movie,
the stuntmen the ones that try and walk up the side of the hill ramp and just kind of roll down?
Probably so. The movie,
There's a few of them cannot manage that walk up that little ramp and just kind of roll down.
somebody
That's
did look
part
at
of
that.
the stunt.
Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say that's part of the stunts. We got the stunt team that throwing apes and humans around. We got the stunt team that knows how to roll down a hill.
There was that one where the like ape throws an ape at another ape and takes some police officers down. I was like, what was that?
Well, they did, especially that little weird embankment thing. They got their. I was going to say they got their money out of it, but
they worked that embankment.
They used it every shot that they could. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, the embankment and then the bridge. I can't tell if there's multiple. I'm assuming they're supposed to shot like there's multiple bridges, but it just looks like the same bridge.
The same bridge, yeah.
Same embankment, same bridge. Let's shoot from this angle. Let's shoot from this angle. Let's have
I take it as the same bridge every time. But final thing here. Interesting note: the movie crews agreed to stop all gunfire at 10 o'clock each evening, although the cast and crew would continue working until dawn for a couple of weeks. And it says a couple of weeks. I assumed a couple of weeks is the nighttime shots, but no gunfires after 10 p.m.
That's whenever they have people just right up physical right next to each other fighting. That's when they stop shooting.
I mean, it's Los Angeles. I'm surprised they're not.
There you go. Yeah,
gunfire to 10 p.m.
It's 10 o'clock. All right, quit shooting. Now it's just time for the fisticuff parts. Let's go, boys.
So there's the very nice canted angle just at the first of this where you see apes coming around the side of a building. And for those that don't know, canted angles, Dutch angles are those kind of slanted angles like they used in the 60s Batman show all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say, Batman.
Why didn't they use, first off, why don't they stay on that shot longer? Because it does give that, it's almost ominous for just that split second it's there. Why don't they stay longer, and why don't they use more canted angles, I wonder? That's an easy way to stage things just to do this and to give it that off-kilter feel, and they don't do enough of it.
I don't know.
So, speaking of go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, at 9 seconds in, and the gunfire, I don't know if you were going to bring this up. If you pause it and look at it, it looks like some of the police officers have flare guns.
That was where I was going with it. So let's talk about that they stopped shooting weapons every night at 10 p.m., well, the weapons they had, it doesn't even look like it has a barrel that a bullet could go down. It's a very odd snub-nosed pistol. And if there are fans out there that are gun experts, tweet us and tell us what gun that is. But it is very weird.
I think it's a flare gun they painted black.
And I think that would actually be kind of cool if they were shooting flare guns at them, and because that would scare those apes. That would, hit them and it would hurt. And you don't necessarily have to kill them. I also wonder with all did they not do rubber bullets back then? Could they not have been doing that kind of thing? Because would they have wanted to kill the apes or subdue the apes?
Well, we know Governor Breck wants him to wipe them all out, but he's so stupid that he hasn't communicated that to anybody except for by yelling at a monitor.
True. We also eventually in this minute get smoke canisters and apes running past smoke, and I think that's a nice addition.
Yeah, there was just one or two. I mean, what?
Well, hey, by the way, rubber bullets were invented in 1970.
Okay, they would have been 2 years in.
Well,
or a year.
And it was over in Britain that they did it.
Well, when the smoke canister comes, would it not have been nice to see the gun thunk, shoot that and it land? So we know that's part of, or somebody say use tear gas or anything.
So just so you know, Dane wanted gas grenades in the script.
Okay.
And they were supposed to have gas masks, and the apes, only a few of the apes have masks. Mm-hmm. The rest, as the fumes spread, stagger, double up, and utter barks of as hoarse as coughs. So looking out at the plaza and the clouds of tear gas billowing across it, he turns to members of his commando group, waves their attention, pointing at himself. Watch. He inhales deeply, holds his breath for a few seconds, points to them, do. The apes inhale in unison, and Caesar, who then lifts finger telling them to hold it. They nod. They then follow him and dashes into the plaza for the building that houses the command post. So there was supposed to be tear gas moments.
And I like that. I like that
the Caesar giving instruction.
And I like the canisters there.
Learning, yeah.
I just wish we had seen the guards shooting them. And it's not that you need the explanation. You know what it is. You know where they came from. It just feels unfulfilled when I just see it there. Or even if it had been canisters they threw. They don't have to have the ones you shoot. Just anything like that.
They do take a couple of seconds in this particular minute to show the 8 bodies on the ground, and we don't see the same police officers, at least not in this minute. police officer bodies on the ground. We just see the apes that have been, I guess, the result of the gunfire that are wounded. And there's a few lingering moments where you see them to show us the effect of the gunfire.
Do we need a shot of an Ewok coming up and rubbing his ape dead friend, going, "Oh,
I forgot about that moment."
To tell the truth, actually, yeah, why don't we see any of the apes concerned over their friends dragging them out of the battle? Why don't we see that kind of thing? I don't care what it may be, or an ape that's shot and still struggling to fight in the battle. That'd be nice too. Those little mini narratives give us the human element that we long for. And as much as we all hate the Ewoks, or most of us do, those moments work because it's almost expected. The battle is hard. Battle is terrible. You're going to lose friends. And I think that is some of what's missing. I think that some of what's missing from Caesar's narrative is the understanding of the loss and things like that.
Well, Caesar's lost in this moment. I mean, that's just it. We're now at this scene where we've got this chaos happening and more apes appearing and taking over military forces. We even pop back into that random point of view camera for Breck to utter, "There's more of them!"
Right.
Surprised by how many are pouring out, but we don't know a sense of where they're coming from. We have no sense of why they're just now joining the battle. But it is, and they're coming from everywhere. I mean, they're definitely using this plaza a little bit better. They're not just marching across the bridge. They're coming from all angles and all sides.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, going back to your point about the confusion of not knowing where anything's laid out, is this units 4 and 6? Because in previous minutes, they were overrun, but then we've also seen them also shooting. And then these guys how come there's no rear defense for them? You know, we've got 15 people and 100 apes just showed up behind them and surprised them. If we had known where they are, how these apes got there and surprised them, it would make a whole lot more sense.
I mean, again, if we got into the household situation and shown a couple of them like leaving the house, like just just terrified civilians as the ape decides, I'm grabbing the kitchen knife and running out into
because Breck should not be surprised. He should assume that every ape now is a problem, because, I mean, apes even in his control center are already causing problems. So why would he assume why wouldn't he assume that every ape is doing the exact same thing?
What I love is when he utters command, "My God, there's more of them." McDonald just like goes, Yeah. McDonald is so unexcited. Like, cool, great. Yeah. I think you see his eyes. It doesn't roll his eyes, but it's close to it.
McDonald, you're here, and we need you at here.
Yeah.
This idea of including the civilians in the attack, and it is only an idea, and I'm going to be very careful on how I say what I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil it for Richard. But you jump ahead to the last of the new movies. There's a moment when they meet a little girl, and the kind of idea of a civilian and the things that happen between the apes of what you can and can't do to harm someone. That would have been nice if we see maybe somebody, one of the apes, going to attack a civilian and Caesar stops him and says something like, "Not civilians." That furthers his character. It tells us what his goal is stop to the oppression and these kind of things. And I do think in the next movie you get some of his acknowledgement of how you should behave, but we're missing those simple ideas, which is a continuation of character in a moment of chaos.
What you do is you have a family there, a kid and his parents, and the ape's about to attack the kid, and Caesar stops him and says, no children. And then he lets them attack the parents and just beat the shit out of the parents instead.
But we honestly don't know what Caesar, again, we don't know what Caesar is objective is. For all we know that he doesn't care about civilians. I mean, he's mad about his near torture and the death of Armando by Culp and Culp, Mr. Fattyfinger or whatever his name was. But we don't or Breck, having been in Breck's office, but we don't know how he feels about the civilian population. He saw them all mistreated. He's had them uprise,
Yeah, and I'm only throwing in these ideas. You don't know what his position is on these people. We don't. And if we you could build it, and it could be where he goes, kill everybody. It could be whatever.
Right.
And if you want his goal, here's a simple way to continue his goal. In this moment, he's fighting something, and a gorilla grabs his attention, and he points, and then we go to an over shoulder of where he's pointing, and it's ape command. You know, it's